So the first part of this, we've broken this into three sections. One is an implementation overview regarding dispute resolution, and I will make it very clear that this also includes those other amendments, all the things that are looking for the 1st of January commencement. We then have an implementation overview of the Piaui provisions and also an implementation overview of the inquiries and complaints, and so those changes that aren't directly related to the legislation but were announced by the Minister. So an important point to note with this is that there is a dispute resolution steering committee that is chaired by Carmel Donnelly as the Chief Executive of CIRA and has Kim Garling from Wairo and also Rod Parsons and Greg Keating from the WCC. The steering committee has been in existence now since June, thereabouts, and it meets fortnightly, though sometimes that doesn't happen because people, we're talking about people who are making a commitment to meet fortnightly, and most of the time it's there, but it is the intent to meet fortnightly. The role of the steering committee is really about coordination of the implementation, recognising that this is not something that is just a CIRA piece or a Commission piece or a Wairo piece. It impacts all three of the agencies or the bodies that are key in the workers' compensation system. There has been a commitment from the members of the steering committee that even post the commencement, the proposed commencement in January, that the steering committee will continue to meet throughout 2019 to monitor the implementation and to try and address any issues in terms of the implementation. In terms of the planned commencement, as has been noted a couple of times, the dispute resolution changes, which is Schedules 1, 2, and then the other amendments, which is 4 and 7, well, what's left of 7, will are proposed to commence on the 1st of January 2019. Schedule 5, which is the indexation, that commences 1st of December, and the rest of the schedules have already commenced as of the 26th of October, or the rest of the provisions, apart from Piaui, and we'll get to Piaui. Inquiries and complaints, so this was as per the Minister's announcement that inquiries and complaints from injured workers are going to go to Wairo for resolution, and inquiries and complaints from employers will be handled solely by CIRA for resolution. So that is again proposed for 1 January 2019, aligning all of these as best we can. So what do we need to do to implement dispute resolution? So first thing is we need to have the supporting regulation changes for those particular schedules and provisions. At a high level, this is what is going into those regulation changes, which again will commence on the 1st of January in line with the legislation. First is the decision notice requirements, so those related to the single decision. So there are some that exist in the regulations already, some that have been amended in the regulation by the Act itself or will be by the Act itself because of the change from Section 54 and 74. They needed to be renumbered within the regulation. The notification of a review decision of an insurer, so the requirements and what sits in there, and that's related to the powers under 287B of the 1998 Act. The procedure to be followed in conducting an internal review currently sits in the workers' compensation guidelines, will move to the regulations with these provisions commencing. So there needs to be that in the regulations. So that's in the process at the moment. The work capacity legal costs and the updating of Schedule 6 to reflect the work capacity legal costs and to reflect the processes within the Commission. That will be also in the regulation, and the display of the return to work program. So the provisions regarding the electronic display of return to work programs will be in that regulation. Where are we up to at the moment with the regulation? Parliamentary Council Office, who does the drafting of all of the regulations and acts and bills, they have the drafting instructions. They are drafting as we speak, I hope, but they have them. They're going through that process. As you would understand, if we're going for a 1 January commencement, there is a very limited opportunity for consultation, though we will be looking to give that opportunity around consultation on the regulations. From my perspective, there's nothing controversial going into these regulations. We have display of return to work programs. That will allow other languages to be used. And what we're looking there is just what's the methodology. The notification of a review decision of an insurer should align to the notice requirements under the sections 76 to 85. The procedure to be followed in conducting an internal review, similar process to that which is already described in the guidelines, but it's now being moved into the regulations. I can't commit to a consultation draft. I know we're trying to do that, but timeframes are going to be tight. So the regulator will be reaching out and certainly working with WIRO and the Commission through the steering committee to look at these things, but we'll also try and reach out broader than that in terms of the regulation itself and getting it published as early as possible for that 1 January commencement. Now, it's very, very tight timeframes that we're working on here, but we believe that it can be done. I'm still keeping that up as proposed for 1 January. If it's not right, if the pieces aren't in place, then we will make a recommendation, as Cyril will make a recommendation to the Minister that it's not commenced on 1 January, it's commenced at a later point. But where I stand today, we will be in a position to be able to do that.